Hello, and welcome to week number 4 for the class Emotional Intelligence. Today we begin week 4, and our theme is Emotional Intelligence Strategies. This week focuses on what happens under pressure when the problem is complex, the information is incomplete, and the stakes feel high. In those moments, emotions do not just affect how you feel, they shape what you notice, what you ignore, and how you interpret other people's words and actions. That means emotions quietly influence decision quality. Our focus is twofold. First, you'll learn to recognize how emotions steer attention and interpretation. For example, stress can narrow your focus to threats, frustration can make you assume negative intent, and anxiety can push you to decide too quickly, relieve uncertainty. Second, you'll practice EI strategies you can use in real time to improve both decision making and communication. Think of these strategies as a short reset that helps you slow escalation, check your assumptions, and respond with clarity instead of reacting. As we move through the week, I want you to keep one question in mind. When you're under pressure, what emotion shows up most often for you? And what does it cause you to do too quickly? Okay, to the next slide there. Okay. All right. Week 4 readings. Okay. You'll notice that the readings do two things at once. First, they help you understand emotional intelligence as a measurable, developable, capable, not just a personality trait. Second, they connect EI to real workplace outcomes by showing how emotions shape perception, judgment, and behavior. As you read, I want you to focus on one theme that builds directly from the week 4 introduction slide. Under pressure, your brain filters information. Emotions influence what gets through that filter, how you interpret it, and how quickly you decide. So, our goal this week is not to eliminate emotion. Our goal is to recognize emotion early, regulate it, and then choose a response that improves decision quality and communication. Here is how I want you to use these readings for today's synthesis. Pull out 2 to 3 ideas that explain how emotions affect attention and interpretation, and then pull out 2 to 3 strategies that help you slow down. Test assumptions and communicate clearly when the stakes are high. As we move into the next slides, you will see these ideas translated into practical tools you can use immediately in workplace situations. So these will be quite helpful for you. Okay? All right, so by the end of week 4, you will be able to first, you should be able to explain the mechanism. Emotions do not just show up after a decision, they steer what you notice, what you ignore, and how you interpret it, what is happening. In complex workplace problems, that means emotions can quietly shape your judgment before you even realize it. Second, you should be able to use self awareness and self management to improve decision quality. The goal is not to be emotionless. The goal is to catch the reaction early, regulate it, and prevent unhelpful patterns like rushing, assuming intent, or responding defensively. Third, you should be able to apply emotional intelligence behaviors in real time, both with yourself and with others. That means communicating early, slowly escalating, and keep the conversation productive when the stakes are really high. As we move forward, every tool and activity this week is designed to help you practice these 3 outcomes in realistic workplace moments. This will be very helpful for you. All right. So, in this next slide, we're looking at how emotion shapes perception and decisions. Step 1 is attend. This is what you notice and what you miss. When you're stressed or frustrated, your attention narrows. You may lock onto one detail and overlook other important signals. Step 2 is interpret. This is the meaning you assign or the story you tell yourself about what is happening. Emotion often colors that story. For example, the same silence in a meeting can be interpreted as resistance, confusion, or thoughtful processing, depending on what you're feeling. Step 3 is decide and act. This is where you choose a response and communicate it under real constraints like time, policy, workload, and relationships. Emotions can push you toward urgency, overconfidence, avoidance, or excessive risk. The key point is that emotions steer the whole loop. They highlight what feels urgent, shape interpretation, and influence confidence and risk tolerance. Emotional intelligence helps you catch that influence early so you can choose a response instead of reacting. Use the anchor question at the bottom as a quick pause button. What am I feeling? How might it be shaping my read on the situation? If you can answer that honestly, you're already improving the quality of your next decision. Let's go here. All right, so now this slide we're looking at where judgment degrades under emotion. First, narrowed attention. Under pressure, you can lock into one thread, one metric, or one person and stop scanning for alternatives. The risk is solving the wrong problem because you stop looking too soon. Second, fast stories with weak evidence. Emotions pushes you to fill gaps quickly, so interpretations solidify before you check assumptions or look for disconcerting information. This is where misunderstanding becomes facts in your mind. Third, escalation and defensiveness. When the emotional temperature rises, the goal can shift from solving the issue to winning, proving a point, or saving face. Once that happens, the conversation becomes harder to recover. Fourth, groupthink risk. In tense situations, teams sometimes choose harmony over honesty. People hold back concerns and blind spots grow because nobody wants to be the one to disrupt the group. The EI move at the bottom is your practical takeaway. Slow the loop just enough to check three things: the data, the alternatives, and the emotions in the room. That small pause is often the difference between a reactive decision and a high quality decision. So that's important to remember. Where judgment degrades under emotion. Okay. So, step one is notice. Pause long enough to identify what you're feeling, what might be triggering it, and what others in the room may be experiencing. If you cannot name it, you will likely act it out. Step two is name and normalize. Put a label on what is happening without judging it as good or bad. This reduces defensiveness and creates space to think clearly. It can be as simple as, I'm feeling rushed, or is there some tension in the room? Step three, regulate. Choose one strategy that keeps you constructive, such as a slow breath, a short pause before responding, or a quick reframe toward facts and goals. The aim is not to erase emotion, it's to keep it from driving the conversation. Step four is decide with intention. Make the next move that aligns with values, goals, and evidence. Then communicate it clearly. Before you speak, ask yourself, what outcome am I trying to produce and what message supports that outcome? Making sure the slides. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, this, hmm, I think this is the last slide. Hmm. Trying to make sure the slide is moving. Okay. Well, this is the last slide here. I think this is the last slide. Okay. This is the last slide. Okay. All right. So that concludes week number 4. And And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Okay? Thank you.